Hello. Welcome to today's class. And this is a combination, as I was saying, this is a combination of gentle, extra gentle. I don't see any amputees on here today, but amputees, really, the extra gentle applies for you, and even some of the gentle. So everybody will be able to do what works for them. I will give instruction for doing poses on the mat. You can use a chair instead of the wall. Oftentimes we do, especially in extra gentle, we use the wall a lot. So since not assuming that everybody has spare walls, open walls, you can use your hands on a chair. So you'll see me move between sitting on a chair as we start. You can sit on a chair if that's where you're more comfortable, or you can sit on the ground. We'll do some warm-up things in the chair on the ground, and then we'll come up and do some standing things. All right, so sitting on the mat if you'd like, and I'll just sitting on a chair as we start out. If you're sitting on a chair, you're going to sit in seated mountain with your feet forward of your knees, and you're sitting towards the edge of the chair. All right, and then the things that we're going to do for warm-ups, you can do in the chair. All right, if you're sitting on the ground, we want to sit. Feel free to use a blanket if you have a blanket or not. All right, if you're sitting on the ground, on the chair, by sitting towards the edge, you will have the sit bones more open, and your feet forward of your knees will help you sit more upright. On the ground, you're going to lean over and open up your hips. So lean over to the left hip, open up your whole right hip, set it back down. And that opening is that you internally rotate the thigh as you pull the whole hip out and take it back. All right, so this is simple seated pose or seated mountain. All right, and then place your hands in a comfortable place and just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. And feel how it feels to sit on the earth. And when you're sitting on the chair, your feet are grounded to the earth. So as you sit today, just begin to notice your breath. This sense of inhale and exhale through the nose. And when we start the class, having aligned and sitting up straight, we're just starting to bring our awareness to our own breathing. And of course, we breathe without thinking day to day. But when we come to yoga, it's all about breathing with awareness. So as we inhale through the nose, and there's a sense of expansion. So notice what you feel in your body as you inhale. Something comes in, the air, the energy comes in, rides on the breath, expands the ribs, expands the chest. And then as you exhale, you've gotten the energy from that breath, so you just allow everything to soften. The ribs retract a little bit, your belly comes back towards the spine. So just get into sensing the rhythm of your inhales and your exhales. This is a stressful time for everybody. There's so much that's so unknown. So we come back to yoga for grounding, because the thing we know with yoga is we know our body, we know our breath. And we come back to that to put us right in the present moment. Instead of thinking about the past or worrying about the future, we come to right here, right now. So please bring your palms together at your heart center, this pose of centering. This gesture of bringing our hands to our heart. It's called Anjali Mudra. It's a pose of self-honoring, a pose of centering, a pose of gratitude, and so many other things. And so as you sit today, feeling into where you're connected to the earth through your hips and legs, where your hands meet together at the heart, bringing all parts of yourself together, your head, your heart, your body, your mind, everything at the heart. And your fingertips pointing up towards something bigger that connects us all. And then having connected to the body and to the breath, now let's give our breath a little sound as we start with one Om. Om is the sound of all of life. It's what connects us all. It signifies connection. It signifies vibration. 3 syllables, ah, u, that all come together at the heart. And when we chant this Om, it just sort of sets the tone for the practice. We honor the beginning and middle and end of all of life in every single thing we do. So please exhale fully and then inhale. And then exhale one more time. And after your next inhale, please join me or simply listen. And on your next exhale, bow your head towards your heart, release your hands to the thighs, softly lift your head and open your eyes and welcome. All right, so just notice if you're on the mat, please notice what leg is in the front. If you're on the chair, you're already grounded, that's good. So since we're asymmetrical on the ground, we want to notice what leg's in front, left leg in this case. So stretch your legs out. And just do a little seated windshield wiper pose. You can do seated windshield wipers in the chair as well. All right, then come on back and cross your legs in your second favorite way on the mat. All right, and on the chair, you don't have to do any crossing. You're already there. All right, so we're going to do some side stretches to open up the secondary breathing areas, your ribs, yeah, the muscles between the ribs. So take your right fingertips to the earth, turn your left palm up. On the chair, you'll take the right hand along the chair, and you'll take the left palm up. Then take a nice breath in. And as you exhale, walk your right hand out to the side on the mat, down if you're able along the chair. And your left arm can be up nice and straight if you want. You can take it this way, but if you really want to energize and use the whole arm, take it out more so that your arms are in a T. But see what works for you. So you take a few breaths here. The inhale is a sense of lifting up. The exhale, you soften the back ribs, the side ribs, just a little bit. So you're getting long from your hip to your armpit. Good, then on your next inhale, come on back up. Left hand touches the earth, right hand is up. Same thing on the chair, you're going to the other side now. And you take a breath in, and then exhale. Get long and open up on this whole right side. Feel free, if you go a little deeper on the mat, that you can bend this lower arm. Keep this hip anchored though. Keep the right hip anchored. Good. Then come on back. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale brings you back up. Exhale, you'll go to the right. Inhale brings you back up. And exhale, you go to the left. Good. One more time. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale to the right. Inhale all the way back. And exhale to the left. Good, come all the way back up. All right, so now we're going to do a gentle sort of opening twist. Now this is not a deep one. We're not trying to bind or anything. We're really trying to get long in the spine and a little more solid in the core. And so the chair, you'll be doing something very similar. But first, let's change the cross of our legs again. All right, so we keep a little symmetry there. And again, opening your hips if you need to. And on the chair, you don't have to change anything. All right, so now a little opening twist. All right, so as you inhale, arms come up. Now as you exhale, right hand will come down to the floor or the side of the chair. Left palm turns up, comes to the inner left leg, and then that's on the exhale. Then on the inhale, you press in the leg, get tall. And as you exhale, twist on the axis of your spine to the right, softening the left ribs back a little bit as you twist using your core, not binding. Yeah. So this, we don't want to go too deep here. We want to use the strength of our core. Good, then inhale, come back up, arms in the T. Exhale, twist, side 2. Right palm up, right hand inside right knee. Press into the earth, get really tall. Exhale, twist by softening the back ribs. And on the chair, you're just doing the same thing, but you just got the hand on the side of the chair instead of back behind the back hip. Good, then let's do that 2 more times with your own breath. Inhale, you come back up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, twist to the left. Good, one more time. Inhale up and exhale, twist right. Inhale up and exhale, twist left. Good. Then inhale back and bring your hands back down. All right, so now stretch your legs out on the floor. Okay, this is Dandasana, staff or stick pose, where you're hinged at the hips, your legs are forward, your feet are active, and your fingertips are on the earth. That's staff or stick pose. On the chair, you're still in seated mountain. All right, let's warm up the feet. Just do a nice quick warm up of the feet. All right, so cross your right ankle above your left thigh if you're on the earth. On the mat, on the chair, you can cross, again, you do the same thing, or you cross at the ankles and you're just gonna work your feet independently if you're not able to get this top leg, this right leg up high. Okay, all right, but if you are, now you're going to interlace your fingers through the toes from the underside and just do a little bit of movement back and forth just to open up the ball of the foot. And then you can make little circles in one direction and then the other direction. And then you come on back and you're going to spread the toes as wide as you can. We're going to stretch the top of the foot by curling the toes towards the heel, lining up the center of the ankle with the center of the knee. What you don't want to do is that's going to overstretch the outer leg, so you want to keep it nice and lined up. Good, then press the ball of the foot away to stretch the underside of the foot. Then come back and do a toe turn, and you just do a little pull. You can be as gentle as you want or as vigorous as you'd like, that's fine. Good, and then we're going to massage. So fingers are on the top of the foot, thumbs are on the bottom, and it's like you're pulling taffy. Yeah, you're just sort of massaging from the center out. All right, and then clap. Do a little drum roll. Do a little compassionate pounding. All right, then you can make a little fist with your knuckles, and you're just going to rub these knuckles back and forth across the bottom of the foot, going cross fibers. A nice little release to the sole of the foot. All right, then hold up. You can lift up the leg, and you're not trying to move the foot. You're letting the foot hang, and you wave to your neighbors, just getting a little bit of energy there. And then hip, hip, hooray. We're just going to open the hip a little bit. So a little hip opener along with that foot opener. And then stretch your right leg out. And on the chair, just put both feet down on the ground. And then notice the difference in the color and the plumpness of the one you just worked, where you just opened up all that energy in the fascia. You did that with the foot. It goes all the way up through the leg and the body. So let's do the same thing on the left side. So interlace your fingers from underneath. And then do this little bit of movement in the the ball of the foot area. That's where you want it to be mobile, because that needs to move when you're walking. Good, and then make little circles in one direction of the ankle. You're making ankle circles, and in the other direction. And oh, are you sitting up straight when you're doing this? Good, coming back. Spread your toes nice and wide. All right, and then stretch the top of the foot, lining it up in a nice long line. Then press away the ball of the foot to stretch the sole. Coming back, a little bit of toe, turn and pull. Good, and then a nice massage again. So the fingers are on the top of the foot, the thumbs are on the bottom, and you're just playing with your foot. It feels really good. Good, and then clap. Drum roll. Compassionate pounding. And then knuckles up along the bottom, just have that lovely feeling of release on the bottom of the foot. Okay, and then wave to your neighbor with your left foot, and hip, hip, hooray on the left side. Good. All right, stretch your legs out, and then you can do a little bit of this, okay, a little seated windshield wiper pose, which I always think feels good. All right, we're going to do some cat-cow poses. Cat-cow to extended puppy, and then into downward facing dog. So it's a little opening sequence. On the chair, let me just show you on the chair first. Right, and also if you can use a dining room chair for this. If you don't have what we call yoga chairs, you can use your dining room chair. Anything that has a firm surface is good. All right, so on the chair, your cat dog tilts. You will be sitting on the chair, your hands can be on your thighs. On your inhale, you draw your hands back as you lift your heart a little bit. And on the exhale, you can bring your hands forward and gently round just a little bit at the back of the waist. So inhale, that's your cat, and exhale, that's your cow. When we come to do extended puppy, you can bring your arms more forward, sort of almost like in a forward bend, kind of like that. That's a modification. And then we'll do downward facing dog. You're welcome to stand up. Oh, I don't want to do that. You're welcome to stand up and do L pose or downward facing dog on the chair. Okay? All right, so on the earth, you put the blanket down. And again, I suggest you put something underneath of your knees. Your knee is a joint, and you don't want to put that much of your weight on a joint without some support. So come to the table, all right? And on the chair, you'll be seated again in seated mountain. All right, and then from the table, on the inhale, you're going to lift the tailbone, and right here, the collarbones and the breastbone, those are what open up. That's your inhale, that's cow, and it's a back bend. So the inhale is the cow, and the exhale, you're just going to lift right along the back of the waist and the lower ribs and look down between your thumbs. So do that a few times. On the chair, you remember it's sort of like a Nordic ski work with your hands, yeah? So the inhale is a cow, and the exhale is a cat. So go ahead and do a few of those. We're opening up the big muscles of the hips and the joints of the hips and the shoulders. So a few at your own breathing pace. I just think this feels so good. It's just an all over lovely spine opener, yeah? And hip and shoulders. All right, after a few of those, after the next inhale in the cow, you can come up on your fingertips, walk the fingers forward about 4 inches or so, and then come back with your heels, with your hips back of your knees, but not resting on your heels, so that you're doing core work here. You want to be in downward facing dog back, and if you're able to keep the toes turned under, you're going to work the back of the lower leg. If you can't, put the toes down, but this actually is very effective. Okay, then you'll come back, you'll bring your hands back into the table, inhale, cow, exhale, up on fingertips into puppy. So do a few of those. On the chair, again, inhale, cow, exhale, sort of, you can put your hands here or you can have them out forward so you get that same energy of using your core. So inhale, cow, exhale, puppy, extended puppy, okay? All right, then once you've done several of those from the mat, the next time that you're back in extended puppy, if you're able, place just your palms flat and press into the, straighten your legs to come up into a soft knee downward facing dog. Now, you may need to come from extended puppy back to the table to lift your hips. Then you have to press back this way. So either way that you do it is fine, all right? And on the chair, again, when you do cow, okay, to puppy, you can even do this as sort of your version of downward facing dog on the chair. So you don't have to be standing up, all right? So inhale, cow, exhale, puppy, or exhale, puppy, inhale, down dog, and exhale, get long in your dog, all right? So let's do a few of those. So we're stringing them all together. Inhale, cow. Exhale, extended puppy. Place your palms flat, straighten your legs, come up into a bent knee downward facing dog, because you were already in downward facing dog back in extended puppy. Now as you exhale, from the back of your shoulder blades, from your back of your heart, press into the earth and take your hips higher. We don't care about straight legs, working more to get your hips back open and your back strong. And then on your next inhale, come back down, cow. On your exhale, extended puppy. Palms flat, inhale, up and down dog. Exhale, press into the earth and get longer in your dog. Good, and one more time. Inhale, cow. Exhale, puppy. Inhale, up into downward facing dog, and exhale, long in your dog. And then inhale, come back down. And just for a minute, you can bring your big toes together, toenails down, knees wide. Come on back, and then you can stack your fists or your hands and just take a breath in sort of a resting child's, yeah? So just take a breath for a minute and enjoy your breath. All right, and come on back up. So now we're going to do alternate arm and leg or bird dog pose for strengthening in the back and for balance. So on the chair, we're simply going to, so if we're lifting, you can take your right leg out and lift your left arm, okay, for alternate arm and leg. We'll start there on the ground. I'll show you that in a minute. Then the next time, if you want, you might lift this leg just an inch or two and this arm up. Okay, keep the knees soft. All right, so and if not, if that's hard for you, keep your leg on the ground the whole time, okay? But if you're able, you lift it a little bit, you're gonna open and work this leg a little more. All right, that's alternate arm and leg on the ground. We will come to the table. Good. Come to the table, take your right foot back, touch the earth. All right, then inhale, lift the heel in line with the hip, toes pointed right down towards the earth to make you really work that right leg. Keeping that as you want, as you inhale, take your left arm forward, palm facing the center. And I know some of you want to play, so maybe you lift this left foot off a little bit. Woohoo! That's just a challenge by choice. You don't have to. Good, so a few breaths here, and on the chair, you're working the same legs and arms. Good, exhale, left hand down, right leg down. All right, same thing other side. Take the left foot back, touch the earth. Inhale, breathe the heel in line with the hip. Shift a little weight to the left so you can lift your right arm. Palm faces the center. Good, and again, if you want to play with lifting this right foot up. You don't have to lift it much. You'll feel things will shift, yeah? Good, exhale, come back down. All right, so do that. We're gonna do that twice more. All right, so I'll do it on the chair this time. Inhale, right leg back, left arm up. And if you want, if you're on the chair, feel how it is to lift it up. You don't have to. Good, bring hand and arm back. Let's change to the other side. Left leg comes out, right arm comes up, and you can lift up this left leg if you want. Good, come on back down. All right, one more time. On the ground, right leg comes back, left arm raises. Exhale, back down. Left leg comes out, right arm raises. Good, and exhale, come back down. All right, so now we're going to do, it's going to do baby half moon, but harder to do that in a chair. So what we'll do today is that we'll do some lunges, okay? So now, those of you on the mat, we'll just come, you can come, I'll show you. That's the best way. On the chair, I suggest that now you come to standing. All right, so if you're on the chair, you know what we do. If you're new to this, we'll show you. So we're going to do something called chair, and that's going to strengthen your legs. And so what we'll do is work on coming sort of forward. This is skier's crouch. You have the forearms on the chair. And you guys that are on the mat, try this later in your dining room chair. This is some work, okay? So you come forward, and what you're going to do is simply lift your bottom an inch or two. You think that's not taking strength? It is. So if you're on the chair, do that once. Do that a second time. Good. Now the third time, you're lifting the bottom a little bit off the chair, and then you slowly step into your legs and come up, and then you can face your chair. Okay? On the ground, you can come to mountain pose. All right? So if you're on the mat, we're going to do sort of a half sun salutation version, or you can do it from table. So let me show you. So I've shown you, I'll show you the chair here in a minute. So on the ground, you can do low, you can step the right leg forward, and then we'll come to a low lunge back bend, Anjaneyasana. All right, once we've done that on both sides, okay, the next time we'll come like that, we'll come like this with the hands down and straighten the back leg. So I just wanted to show those to you first, okay? If you're on the chair, you'll be doing here, or you can turn the chair around this way, and you want all four legs of the chair on the mat so it doesn't slide. All right, so your lunge, you would take the right foot forward under the chair, step the left leg back. So you're going to be doing high lunges. And then maybe you take up one arm and another arm, maybe both, maybe not. All right, so let's do some lunges. All right, so gentle. Actually, let's start it from the floor. And you guys, I know some of you here are a little more advanced. Feel free to do it from downward facing dog. Okay, but for gentles, you can come to the table, all right? And for extra gentles, you can use the chair. All right, so we're gonna take the right foot forward between the hands, and that's low lunge. Right there is low lunge. Then you can bring the hands up to the top, please, to the top of the right thigh. Hands to your hips, fingertips forward, thumbs back, helps you to keep the upper arm bone in line. Once you're there, thumbs to the tops of the shoulders. And on your inhale, arms all the way up. And just a challenge by choice, you take a nice breath in. As you exhale, maybe you press into the back leg and bend the front leg a little more. Be gentle. You'll get a big stretch into the thigh, and you'll feel your hamstrings on the right leg a little more. Good. Exhale, hands back down. Good. And change legs. Step the left leg forward. And as you inhale, bring your hands up to the top of the left thigh. Hands to the hips, fingertips forward, thumbs back. Good, and then as you're ready, you can keep your hands there if that's better. If you have shoulders, you may feel better here. Otherwise, you can take the thumbs to the tops of the shoulders and arms all the way up. Stay there if you'd like, or take a nice breath in and exhale. Bend the left knee a little more as you press into the right leg for just a little more sensation in the leg. See how that feels. So then exhale, hands back down, bring the legs back. All right, so that was low lunge for gentles, and you've done one lunge on either side on the chair. So now we're going to come high lunge for gentles. All right, right leg comes forward. And again, if you have blocks or a couple of books, you can put them underneath of your hands here. Take a nice breath in, and as you exhale, straighten the left leg. All right, so that's high lunge. And challenge by choice, if you want, hands to the top of the right thigh. You want to come upright so that the crown of the head is over the pelvic floor. And you can bring your hands to your hips, fingertips forward, thumbs back. Stay there if you'd like. Or thumbs to the tops of the shoulders and extend the arms up for a crescent lunge. Wonderful. All right, then you can bring your hands back to your hips, down to the earth. Feel free to come down to the ground or change legs in downward facing dog. And now we're going to bring the left leg forward. So if you're in dog, then if you want, bring your knees down, step the left leg forward. When you're inhale, straighten the right leg. Stay there if you'd like. Or challenge by choice, hands are up. Hands are on the hips, fingertips forward, thumbs back. And then if you want, thumbs to the tops of the shoulders and all the way up for crescent lunge, Alanasana. Feels good, doesn't it, to move? Good, exhale, bring your hands back down. And again, come back down to the back knee if you want to table, or step back to downward facing dog. Good, then if you're on the mat, come back down. Take a breath if you'd like. All right, so now we're going to do some lateral standing poses. All right, so we're just going to move the blanket out of the way. All right, and you can come to standing by bringing one leg forward. Then you press into the earth. All right, turn this toe under, and then you can walk yourself up to standing. We're just coming up to standing. Good. All right, now for gentles, extra gentles, you want to use the chair. All right, so you can do it seated on the chair. Let's try it standing today, and then I'll do a dedicated class for sitting on the chair for Monday. Okay, so take a nice wide stance. And gentles probably don't need this, but you may use a chair or a wall if you have it. So how wide should your legs be? Well, a guideline is that if you take your hands out like this, that your elbows over your ankles is usually pretty good. And unless your arms are extra long or your legs are extra long, you know, then it wouldn't work. But just in general, it usually does. All right, so we'll go to the right first. So to help you with this back leg, to open this hip a little more, step the left heel back some. That's going to open up this left hip, which is good. We want the hips open because we are more grounded. If we're tight, just think of what tight does. When you're tight, you aren't open. You feel constricted. When we're stressed, we feel constricted. So the more we get things open, the more settled we feel. And standing poses are great for that. All right, turn your right foot out to 90 degrees. All right, extra gentles, you can hold onto the chair with this hand. You probably won't have as wide a stance, but if you don't, that just means you can't bend this front knee as much because you don't want the knee to go forward of the ankle. That's bad for your knees, all right? So if you take it wide, then you can bend this knee to wherever you're comfortable. And extra gentles, feel free to hold on to this back of the chair because we're going to take this. So if you're not holding a chair, bring your hands in front, cross them in front of you, grab all the goodness, open your arms out wide and bring your palms face down. All right, and that puts your shoulder blades on your back, your neck is free, feels good. All right, warrior two, and then you can look over this front hand. And again, extra gentles, you won't go as deep, but you'll hold on to the chair. Good, you take a breath here. All right, then take a nice breath in, straighten the right leg, bring the hand down, turn your feet parallel. We'll go to side two. All right, so now, for extra gentles, you could move around, but you can probably do it with standing where you are. For gentles, you just are going to step, everybody step their right heel back a little. Turn the left foot out 90 degrees. All right, and if you hold the chair, fine. If not, you don't have to. Inhale, open your arms to open your heart. Exhale, palms down. Take a nice breath in. As you exhale, really press into that right leg for grounding. Bend the left knee. Look over the left knee. Warrior two. Feel free to hold the chair. Side two. And you just kind of enjoy your breath here. It feels good to breathe. Be grounded and breathe. Inhale, press into the front leg. Come up. Turn your feet parallel. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. That's good for you. That little move, it moves the thigh and the hip socket in a really good way. You can either do that or you can step your feet back together. Okay? All right? Second standing pose. Excuse me. Take your feet nice and wide again. We'll go to the right first. All right, so again, step the left heel back, turn the right foot out to 90 degrees. This is extended side angle. Open your arm, and again, extra gentle. You probably won't do this because you might need to hold the chair, but you could open the front arm. Good. All right, good. Take a nice breath in. As you exhale, press into the back leg, bend the front knee. Bring the front forearm. Now, if you're extra gentle, you can get closer to the chair. And your front forearm comes to the front thigh, palm up. All right, you can keep holding onto the chair. Take a nice breath in. If you're not holding a chair, bring your left hand to your left hip to open your left side of your body. Keeping that, take the left thumb to the top of the shoulder and take the arm towards the front of whatever your room is where your front knee is facing. All right, extended side angle. Let me take a breath here. Good to come back up. Feel free to take your hand to your hip, straighten the front leg, turn your feet parallel. Always you can step in and back out if you need to between sides. Step your right heel back a little bit. Turn your left foot out so it's 90 degrees from where it was before. So it's lined up basically sort of parallel with the long sides of the mat. Take a nice breath in, and again, Do this if you like. I like doing this because it puts your shoulder blades on your back. You don't have to think about anything, but just turning your palms down. Good, take a nice breath in. As you exhale, bend the front knee, bring the front forearm to the front thigh, back hand to your back hip. Stay there if you want, or take the right thumb to the top of the shoulder, shoot it towards the front of the room for extended side angle, Utthita Konasana, side tip. I love this one, it feels so good. You got a nice long side, everything gets open. Good, then inhale, press into the front leg, come back up. Turn your feet parallel, and again, either step together or squiggle back. All right, so that's second standing pose. Now we'll do triangle. And again, for extra gentles, you probably are just going to take not so wide a stance. We'll go to the right first. Take your left heel back a little. And for gentles, take a nice wide stance. Good. Turn the right foot out. Now for extra gentles, both legs stay straight. Back hand holds the top of the chair. You're only going to go a little bit probably, but that feels good. So we're lengthening and opening up both sides of the body, but especially you're going to feel a little stretch if you're holding the chair, probably mostly along this side. For gentles, feel free to keep that back hand on the back hip. Maybe your right hand comes down above the knee, maybe it comes below the knee. For some of you, maybe you can take it down further. And of course, if you have a block, you can put your hand on a block. Turn your whole left shoulder open. If you have shoulder issues, keep the left hand on your left hip. If not, take that left arm up. Triangle. Stretching and opening up. Both sides of the body, but especially, I feel it right here. Where do you feel it? Good. Got to come back up. If you have balance issues, and sometimes I do, take the hand to the hip, top hand to the top hip, look down towards the earth, and then you can press your hand into the leg above the knee as you come back. All right, side two. Step the right heel back a little bit. And again, gentles, you're going to be here. You'll take the right hip out a little bit, turn the left one in, and maybe you can take the front forearm to the front of the chair. Maybe you can hold on to the chair seat. Maybe you keep this hand on the hip on the top, or maybe you take it up. All right, lots of choices. Listen to your body. The one rule and two rules in yoga. First is no pain ever. That's first. The second is it should feel good in that even though you're working hard, you can feel that the body is feeling good. The body, the mind, the breath, everything just, it feels good to move and breathe. And you should have fun doing it. Good, those are my two rules. Good, inhale, come all the way back up. Turn your feet parallel and then heel, toe, back to standing pose. All right, let's do a balance pose. We're gonna do Vrikshasana, tree pose. So since we're facing this way, we'll hold onto the chair. You don't have to hold the chair, all right? But we'll start by, all right, so first of all, let's talk about shifting weight. Let's do mountain pose first, right? Mountain pose. All right, so when you're standing in mountain pose, the outer sides of your feet line up with the outer sides of your hip. That's usually pretty good hips. All right, then to feel really grounded like a mountain, solid like a mountain, lift and spread your toes so that you have equal weight on the big toe ball, little toe ball, inner and outer heel. So think of your foot like a box. Right? So you want to lift and spread the toes so that you can feel that you're even on all four of those points. And you got a little arch underneath your foot. That's super good for grounding and support. Then once you've done that, draw from your feet. Imagine you're drawing from your roots all the way up to your hips. And softly you can release the toes back down. Put a little weight in your heels. That'll take your thighs back. Good. Now, with your heart lifted, turn your palms back towards the wall. Then take a nice breath in and open up the palms to the front, which puts your shoulder blades on your back. And then you can just relax the hands, mountain pose. So can you feel, just close your eyes or soften them for a minute and feel the strength in your legs, the length as you lift up like a mountain. You're lifting up high, yeah? Good, and now let's take that mountain and make it a tree. So open your eyes if you shut them. Hold on to the chair if you're extra gentle, or amputees, if any amputees are showing up or see this later. All the extra gentle you can do in amputees. Just make sure that you have a wall next to you or a chair for support. And decide whether you want to do the practice with your prosthetic on, probably for standing, and seated. If you're going to do things on the mat, you may want to take your prosthetic off. Okay, so now, shifting weight. So you're not shifting hips, you're not doing anything with the hips, you're simply shifting from one foot to the other. So just try it. It's how we walk. We've got to shift weight in order for you to walk, yeah? All right, so you're going to shift weight towards, shift weight to the left foot, and then come up on the ball of the right foot, turn the whole right hip open. Good. Now, you may stay there, especially if you're extra gentle, that may be where you are. Or you can place the right foot against the left ankle, the right foot against the left calf, or the right foot, some of you I know are going to be doing this, to the upper inner left thigh. Okay, because it's a hip opener as well as a balance pose. All right, then you decide, all right, if you are holding onto the chair, you can bring the right hand to your heart, or like half of prayer pose or centering pose. All right, you can take this arm up, okay, or you can keep the hand on the hip. If you're standing free, you can put your hands on your hips. You can bring your palms together at your heart. Or you can take the hands all the way up, like you're growing from the roots all the way to the earth through your feet. You're drawing it up through the sap, through your trunk, out through your branches, just like all those spring cherry blossoms. And there's your tree. Good. To come out, you can bring the hands to the heart, hands to the hips. Turn that open hip and leg down. Great. And then we'll go to the other side. All right, so now, people with a chair, you're either going to turn your back towards us, or you'll take that chair to the other side, whatever works. So, shift your weight to the right foot, come up on the ball of the left, turn the whole hip and leg open. Stay there if you want. And whether you're freestanding or using a chair, or place the left foot against the right ankle, the right calf, or the upper inner right thigh. Good. Then hands to your hips, and especially you just keep holding the chair if you need it. Hands to the hips, hands to the heart. And if you want, grow your branches. I was out walking today and smelled the best smell. And I don't know, there were flowers planted in our community coming in center, entryway. And I couldn't figure out, I don't think they're crocuses. Do crocuses smell? I'm not sure, but they were just beautiful. It smelled great. Good. Okay, so I'm talking and trying to balance. It's better if you don't talk when you're doing balance poses. Good. Bring your hands back to your heart, hands to your hips, and then slowly bring this left leg down. Good. All right, so that's an asymmetrical pose. And so now we want to do a symmetrical pose. All right, so if you're on the chair, now's when you're going to come back and sit again in seated mountain. If you're on the mat, you're going to come down and bring the soles of the feet together for bound angle. All right. And again, you're going to open the hips. You're going to lean to the left so that you can open this whole right hip and take it out and back and open. Same thing on the other side. All right. If you're on the chair, you're just going to sit in seated mountain. All right. And you're going to sit upright. And then maybe you do a little bit of a forward fold, which I'll show you. If you're seated on the earth, you can bring your fingertips back behind you. And lifting up through the crown of the head, maybe you take, imagine that your heart, your chest is on a tray and you're just taking it forward. You're not curling down. We're not clamshelling. It's like a laptop that comes straight forward. Yeah, you want to have that nice long straight spine like a downward facing dog back. All right, so that's on the ground. You take a few breaths. On the inhale, you come back up. Here on the chair, you could bring the soles of the feet, or at least the edges of the feet together. Lift up nice and tall as you lift up through the heart. And as you exhale, you can hold the chair and you come forward a little bit. All right, so this is your forward fold while people on the mat are doing bound angle. Good, then inhale, come back up. All right, and then you can do this with your legs. All right, and then, so that's our centering pose. That's a symmetrical pose at the end. And so now is the time for Shavasana, which is Sanskrit for corpse pose. And lest you think that sounds morbid, it's all about dying off old stuff, letting go of stuff you don't need, letting go, and making space for all the new things that you're doing, that you're learning, that you're feeling, that you're sensing. It's just a lovely metaphor for clearing out and making space. So if you're sitting on the chair, you may sit back a little bit so that you're not, you know, in such an active pose, but you don't want to slump. You want to be upright. Feel free, if you have anything at home, books or blocks, you could take a couple of books and just put your feet there so that you can relax a little bit without slumping. All right, and then you can have your hands on your thighs and you simply close your eyes. If you're on the ground, you will, first of all, come to sunbather pose, which is you with your knees bent and your hands back behind you. All right, you'll lower yourself to the earth, onto your forearms and then onto your back. All right, and when you're here with your knees bent like this is called constructive wrist. That's Shavasana with your knees bent. So there's still a little bit going on. And then once you're comfortable there, feel free to stretch your legs out and just allow your legs to relax. Now, if you have low back issues, please roll a blanket and put it behind the backs of your knees, okay? If you have a forward head a little bit more and you're tighter in the neck, you want to put a blanket or a towel or washcloth or something back behind so that it supports your head and your chin's not up in the air like that, because that'll make your neck really tired. Yeah. All right, so that's where you're going to be. And I am going to take you into Shavasana. All right. So for people, for this recording, I will put everyone into Shavasana. And once you're quiet in Shavasana, I'm going to turn off the recording. I'll still be here for the active class to take you out of Shavasana, and we'll chat afterwards. But if you're at home, feel free to stay in Shavasana, this last pose, for 10 minutes. It's a lovely thing to do. And then when you're ready to come out, you're going to slowly start to move a little bit, maybe wiggle fingers and toes, start to move into arms and legs. And then maybe you do a full body stretch. And then as you're ready to come up to seated, you're going to bend the knees. Okay? So here you are, you're out of Shavasana. All right, then once you've done all your stretching, you bend your knees, you roll to your right side, as long as that's good for you, or to your left, cradle your head with your arm. Take a few breaths, and then roll your upper body towards the earth as you press into the earth, and bring yourself back to where we started. Either you don't have to go to the chair. If you were sitting on the chair, you can sit against the wall or anywhere else. And just close your eyes for a minute and just compare how you feel at the end of the class with how you felt at the beginning. And hopefully you feel better and more settled, more grounded, and less stressed. All right, so everybody make yourself comfortable, whether you're lying on the earth or sitting up. Make sure that you feel comfortable and warm. If your belly, hands, and feet are warm, you relax better. And as you lie there, soften the corners of your eyes, the corners of your mouth. Allow that little space between the cheeks and the nose to just relax, to release. Release your forehead, your scalp, your hair. Feel them just release down to the earth. Soften your ears. Relax the sides of your throat. Feel where your body is touching the earth. Feel the heaviness Imagine like lead, your arms and legs. As you feel the body release into the earth, feel the sweet softness of the muscles as they let go of any holding. And just be with the soft, quiet space of your breath. And nothing to do, nowhere to go, but simply be. And feel free to stay here as long as you'd like.